So earlier I spoke about Tom Aspinall and what is next after he basically beat John Jones telepathically to become the unified heavyweight champ because John Jones is retired and now the unified belt is Tom Aspinall's officially. And now what everybody has to think about is what is next for Tom? Who is Tom fighting next? And I spoke about two names, Jailton Almeida and Alexander Volkov. I did not speak about Ciryl Gane because I heard through the grapevine that the two names that were being decided on for Tom Aspinall to fight against next are Jailton Almeida and Alexander Volkov. For some reason, Ciryl Gane was not in the mix, to which I do understand, because even though Ciryl Gane beat Volkov on paper, the Athletic Commission, and Ciryl got the official win, Ciryl did lose that fight against Alexander Volkov. I don't know what the judges were on. Even Dana White, the UFC's president, said himself to Volkov as soon as Volkov got out of the cage that Volkov got effed by the judges. So, yeah, I do see why only Volkov and Jailton Almeida are being considered. But now, Gane himself has been posting some cryptic tweets about him possibly getting the next title shot, about him having big news coming soon. So I wouldn't be, I wouldn't overlook the fact that Ciryl Gane might be selected next for a title shot against Tom Aspinall. And I wouldn't, go so far as to say that Tom Aspinall destroys Ciryl Gane. I think, and I've said this before, I think there are two fighters at heavyweight right now that have more than like a 40% chance of beating Tom Aspinall. Those two fighters are Jailton Almeida and Ciryl Gane, for opposite reasons. Jailton Almeida, because his grappling is strong, but his game on the feet is not as strong. But if the fight against Tom goes to the ground, Almeida can survive there. Ciryl Gane, because if the fight stays on the feet, Ciryl Gane can survive there. Yes, Tom is very quick and powerful, but Ciryl Gane is gifted on the feet. He really is. Yes, John Jones submitted him really early, but Gane is a really gifted striker, and I think he could definitely hold his own against Tom on the feet. On the ground, Tom gets the easy submission. I think it's it's simple. Ciryl Gane needs a lot more work when it comes to surviving on the ground and stuffing takedowns. Although he has shown improvement, he still needs a lot more work. Of course, against Ciryl Gane and Jailton Almeida, I still would choose Tom to win. I said only Jailton and Ciryl Gane are the only two fighters that have more than a 40% chance. I'm not saying more than 50, but they have more than a 40% chance. I think every other heavyweight in the heavyweight division right now have less than a 40% chance of beating Tom Aspinall. And it's just because of the slowness of the average heavyweight. Tom Aspinall is the future of the heavyweight division. He is what we thought Ciryl Gane was before Ciryl Gane fought John Jones. Ciryl Gane was faster than any heavyweight we had seen in recent times. And then Tom Aspinall came along and looked even faster. So fast that he made John Jones retire. He did, quite honestly. But again, regardless of John Jones, I think we can't put off Ciryl Gane getting the next title shot, and I think Ciryl Gane has a decent chance. All Ciryl Gane has to do is not let Tom take him down. The minute Tom Aspinall takes Ciryl Gane down, the fight is over. If Ciryl Gane can stuff every one of Tom Aspinall's takedowns, he has a chance. He's got a chance. All he's got to do is fight from range, throw kicks, timely punches, which he is very good at doing, and survive them 5 rounds. And Ciryl Gane might just be your next heavyweight champ, and that would be insane. That would be absolutely insane to see. But again, Ciryl Gane earning a title shot is questionable because we just saw Alexander Volkov beat him. Volkov did whoop Ciryl Gane. And Ciryl Gane didn't look that bad. I don't think Ciryl Gane looked that bad. Volkov just looked better. Volkov has been on a hell of a run. And I think Volkov does deserve a title shot. I just don't know if the UFC will give it to him. That's really what it comes down to. I think a lot of fighters in the UFC currently who have, been deserving of title shots have not received them. Have simply not received them. Movsar Evloev more than deserves a title shot against Volk. Even Volk called him out before he won the title against Diego. Volk said if he was to get the title, he would want to fight Movsar first because Movsar more than deserves it. And what do we have now? Movsar's not fighting Volk. It's going to be Yair. And Yair does not deserve it. And I'll be the first to say it as a Yair Rodriguez superfan. Yair does not deserve it. Okay? Movsar deserves it. But it's the UFC, and at the end of the day, they're going to make the decision that they want to make. Regardless of what the fans may think or the fighters may think. And that's what it comes down to. But again, the heavyweight is in good hands. I think the heavyweight division will be able to move on finally. John Jones is retired. That whole fiasco that we've been going through for months is over. Tom Aspinall he says he expects to be a what's it called? An active champ. He wants to fight a lot, and that is all good. That's great. I think that's a very honorable thing, an admirable thing of a champion to want to fight often. It's a very Merab and Alexander Volkanovski type of mentality where they're constantly trying to fight. And I think it only helps Tom Aspinall in the long run because, like I said, Tom basically has everybody in the heavyweight division currently beat. He beats everybody. Like I said, I'm only giving Ciryl Gane and Jailton Almeida more than a 40% chance, just under 50. And that's that's much more of a percent chance to win than I give any other heavyweight right now. Even Volkov. I think Alexander Volkov has less than a 40% chance to win against Tom. I think Tom does him the same way he does him in the first fight. Especially because things might change the next go round, but what you have to understand is that the fighters are still going into that second fight with the mentality that like they're still remembering what happened in the first fight, and that has to do something to you. Like I said, things can change in the second fight, in the rematch, but fighters are still going into that rematch remembering what happened in the first fight, regardless of anything. It just happens. Sometimes they can step over it and win in the rematch. Sometimes they let that memory get the better of them and they lose the rematch. But I definitely think Tom Aspinall does Volkov the same the second time around. I think Jailton and Ciryl have a chance because they're fresh-faced and they have strong capabilities in certain aspects or certain areas of where the fight against Tom might go. So I think Jailton and Ciryl have a much better chance of beating Tom than anybody else at heavyweight currently. But overall, let me know what you think. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn the notifications on. Most importantly, turn the notifications on. I love each and every one of you guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Glove Knowledge. This is Mr. Fight Companion from Glove Knowledge. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.